Corey's been living and working in the Kansas City area since 2012 after obtaining his civil engineering degree at Missouri S&T. He's born and raised in Columbia, Missouri. I think if you were to cut him or see him bleed, he will bleed black and gold for the Missouri Tigers. He's going to introduce himself in his icebreaker. He's going to let us know how Missouri is still the best program in the Big 12 without even needing to still be in the Big 12. With that, let's welcome Corey.
Well, I've learned a good way to connect with the audience is to both tell jokes and find common ground. Unfortunately, I don't have any jokes, but I think we can all agree Mizzou is the best. I'm just kidding. I'm not here to talk about college rivalries. I'm actually here to tell you a story about my proposal to Nancy and hopefully tell you a little bit about myself along the way. So Memorial Day weekend, last year, we planned a camping trip. It was planned to be a double date, or actually a triple date, but secretly in the back of my mind, I was glad that the other two couples canceled, because I had something secret and special planned. Leading up to the weekend, Nancy and I were planning as we had previous camping trips. I was a bit obsessive about the details and the food and making sure we had everything. Much to Nancy's suspicion, she thought something was maybe a little off. I mean, it's just a simple weekend camping trip after all. But I insisted and I convinced her that I just didn't want to forget anything, and suspicions washed away. So we drove out to Clinton State Park out in Kansas. It's a beautiful, sunny, hot, muggy day, no wind, but we're excited to get out of the car and start hitting the trails and go hiking together. The first trail, I actually wore a nicer button-up outdoor shirt that I had just gotten from REI that I was excited to wear with thoughts of happy post-proposal selfies in mind. I wanted to look good. Of course, though, that first hike out in the sun and a bucket of sweat later, I quickly shed that silly shirt and I just stuck to a simple t-shirt. We were having fun driving around the lake, hiking a variety of trails, and then we finally got to the trail that I had decided would be a great spot to propose. Looking at the map, it was along the water's edge. I'm imagining that there's a nice view, and this is going to be the spot. Then, getting out of the car, Nancy was particularly chipper, getting ready for this hike, and as I try to get out, and I'm trying to be covert and pull the ring out of the bag and stick it in my pocket, she is happy and runs around the car and is ready to go. And I'm like, great. And at this point is when Nancy starts beating on me with a hammer. I'm sorry, wrong definition. At this point, I have to be a little flexible. And I fumble for an excuse to get her to sneak away from me, and I finally come up with, she needs some more bug spray. And so she's like, okay, I'll spray the bug spray. And I was like, oh, well, wait, go around the car. I don't want you to actually spray it into the car. And so successfully got her to walk around the car, and I quickly put it in my pocket. Here I thought I had this nice little secret pocket on the side of my shorts, and it would be a perfect place to hide it, but of course, it wasn't hidden. It was quite obvious. The box is protruding, and I'm like, she's gonna see this, she's gonna notice. And so, for this hike in particular, I made a point to walk ahead of her and do a bit of a funny shuffle at times to keep it out of her sight. Now, this trail along the water's edge in this area had been getting a lot of rain. Clinton Lake State Park was very high at that point, and this trail in particular along the water's edge was very muddy, saturated, and is actually the muddiest hike of the whole day. So we go walking along, and I'm afraid, as we scrape the mud off of our shoes and I'm heroically fighting this cobwebs down, spider webs, Nancy's gonna not have fun anymore, and this is kind of gonna put a damper, but to her credit, she was chipper and happy the whole time. We were rewarded. There was a deer fawn along our path as we were walking, and kindly a nice sailboat sailed along the water's edge as we got closer to the end. With the water level being up so high, much of the trail was underwater. In fact, that abruptly ended our hike, and I thought, well, I guess this is where I do it. So we have a moment there by the lakeside, and I say, oh, hey, let's head back, just to get her to turn away. And I drop to my knee, call her name. She turns around, and I'm actually a pretty tall guy, so at first she didn't even realize I was down on her. So I say some nice things to get her to understand really what's happening. It clicks. She soaks it in. I propose. She says yes. We share a nice moment there by the lake. I actually pulled out a secret little bottle of champagne that I had hidden in the backpack for the hike. Why I didn't hide the ring that same way, I don't know. And we spent the rest of the weekend enjoying ourselves with some nice camping and food, and yeah. So that was my proposal story, but I hope it teaches you a little about me as an icebreaker. I love the outdoors. I love a dose of humor in life, and I'm a bit of a secret romantic at times. So I'll have to save the college rivalries for the next speech.